Pop the champagne and pull up a seat, because we're about to get into real talk, real stories, and real power moves. This is Champagne and Chat, where we mix success with a little bit of spice, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one.
Nothing.
Hey, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Thank you all for joining us with Champagne and Chats. We have some amazing women this week. I hope y'all are ready for them. So we have Dr. Fab, we have Zaza, we have Chastity, and we have the infamous Miss Dudley, you all. So let's say hey to everyone, and I want y'all to just briefly introduce yourselves.
Hey.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Zaza. I'm out of Dallas, Texas. I'm honored to be here with Dr. J, and let's talk about some breaking generational curses, and let's get to the business. You know.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Fab. I'm the founder of Blue Foundation. I'm excited to chat with you guys. I already have my champagne ready, so let's get this.
Hi, my name is Chastity.
Hey everyone, my name is Dudley. As everyone sipping on champagne, I have my blue tea. Give me the same effects, and I feel amazing already. And I can't wait to chat. I know this is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So let's toast it up, ladies. Grab your glasses.
I already started, but okay.
Okay. And cheers to you all. So let's get right into it. So this week is our third week, and this is still Women's History Month. So I brought some women who are doing some great things, positive things, and who are mothers. And I just wanted to give you all your flowers and just come on here and tell your story, because I know y'all stories, and I just think the world should know what's going on, what you're doing behind the scenes, all of that.
I hear echo. I hear feedback.
I hear echo too.
Okay, we good?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to be talking this week about, are you really breaking generational curses, or are we just repeating them in a different form?
Everybody got
Yeah. So we just gonna do a hot seat really quick, and I just want whoever wants to jump in and answer this first, you can. What's a toxic mindset or habit from your family that you refuse to pass down?
being silent.
I would say
Being
Dudley. Oh, someone's speaking? I would say the worrying. Our family worry a lot. And I think there's nothing wrong with worrying sometimes, because that's natural. That's the nature of us. But my family will worry themselves out of an opportunity. And I think that's been a problem for my family. So and because it's in our blood, because after a while your family starts to inherit that, and that was in the blood. So of course that I picked up, and I had to notice that. So what I do is I just kill the noise, because it's going to take work. So it's not like I just wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna stop worrying, but I can't. They pass it down to me. So then now what I do things to keep me from not worrying. I meditate. I shut off my phone at 6:00 is on non-disturb. I do not get notifications on my phone unless I check my phone. And I'm running 3 businesses. But at the end of the day, I know my time frames because my family worry, and I tend to not worry about the in-betweens. If I have an idea, I just think about the end goal. The in-betweens, I let it just, flow and fix itself. So that's what I do, because it's in me. That's the only way I can break it for me.
Yeah, I agree. Anyone else want to chime in?
Yeah, what I was saying earlier is silent. A lot of times, especially in our Caribbean, Black, Brown community, we are taught to just whatever goes in the house stays in the house.
Right.
That's not
Ooh.
healthy habits. That's not going to help you in the long run. So the silent, no, we got to do better. We got to do better.
That's a good one. Yes.
Good one right there.
Yeah.
So, do we think struggling is a mindset or is it an unfortunate reality?
A what?
Do you think what?
Do we think struggling is a mindset or an unfortunate reality?
It's a mindset.
Oh, it's most definitely a mindset.
It's a mindset.
It's definitely a mindset.
You have to identify the pattern. You have to see a lot of times, like, we can't just be okay with what we saw our mother do. And a lot of times it's easy to fall into comfortability. So what did I see my mother do? What did my mother's mothers do? And a lot of times we growing up, if all we know is what we think is right, it's not until you get around other people where you see it's like, no, that's not right, or I don't want to live like that, or I don't want to be like that. So you have to identify the pattern and then choose to break that, because I think it's a feeling that you feel of lack, because that's not a good feeling when you are doing without. And I mean, even as a child, when you grow up and you're lacking something, and if you felt that as a child, do you want your children to feel that same feeling you felt as a child and dealing with the struggle?
Facts.
You know what also what keeps struggling in people's around people. We're trying not to grow because we don't want to intimidate those that we love.
Oh,
I think
say that again.
Role in that. A lot of it's funny because I was speaking to my husband today, and I had said that my grandfather, my mother's father, he passed away before I can even know him. My mom might kill me if she hear this. Hopefully she's not on live. She's on Facebook. She a sneaky person on Facebook. My grandfather, when she started dating my dad, he told her, "Why are you dating him? He's not on our level." And my mom was like, whatever. They were in school together. He was very smart, but he just wasn't, his family, they were not that fortunate. And he was like, he doesn't understand your family. He doesn't understand your line. And my mom, and then when he passed away when my mom was 19, well, before he passed away, he told my mom, the aunts don't come back and tell me how bad he treats you.
Ooh.
And so when he passed away, my dad was not the best husband or even the father. But I accept him for who he is. And I say that to say that he was trying to tell her, and a lot of times we do this, we have this mindset about struggling. You know what? I don't want to bring my kids around certain kids and families because people gonna think that I think I'm better than them. And that's what my grandpa was trying to teach my mom. It's okay because we don't struggle over here. When you get yourself involved with people who bloodline struggled, that's all they know. And they're gonna bring you down right there with you. And that was bloodline. So my grandfather knew because he worked very hard for his family. And my grandma never had to work. He worked very hard. So the thing was, a lot of times that struggling mindset, because we're just trying to be humble. We're trying to be humble. So when we humble, I'm going to still hang with them. I'm going to have my kids do certain things. That's not where you at. You're on a different level. So that struggling mentality, keep on saying kids. And it's just, I think that's my opinion when it comes. That's why a lot of people are stuck in it.
Speak.
Come on now, clock that too.
I had to learn about that word humble, because me getting around, like you were saying, like not wanting to offend people. And so one of my best friends said, "Have you ever looked up the definition of humble?" And I said, "No, I hadn't. I just know that, like, because when you have something, or when you have a big accomplishment in life, be humble, be humble. But to be humble is to put yourself below and beneath someone, and or just like to lower yourself down. And why do we have to lower ourselves down if I work hard for it? And it's not bragging, because your perception of me is not my fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when we come from, if we come from the struggle and we come from not having anything, that's a big accomplishment, especially when you're the first of your family to do anything.
Right.
Oh. And then they tell us growing up, oh, you to be the best, do this, you got to be the best. But then you said that we're humble to put myself beneath you, but you just told me to be the best and to make straight A's and be the first person to graduate a class.
That's right.
Ding dong. You know what I realized about people? Everybody's cheering you on until you at a level they think you too big.
Correct.
And you know,
and
you
then
know
my
why I
dad
think
too big. Man, she wasn't all that anyway. Man, that service she provided was crappy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
that's
you know
just
why a
human
lot of-
nature. That's why sometimes, you know, some joy you have, you just keep it to yourself
That's
and share it
sad,
with
ain't
those
it?
that you know that genuinely care for you.
That's
Because
sad.
people
It
funny.
is sad, and I'm not
Funny.
keeping it to myself.
And that's why a lot of friends fall out with each other, because we be friends today and you feel like, oh, because we on the same level. Okay, my lights off, your lights off, so now we can relate. So now that I got a better job, I'm doing better, I'm keeping my lights on, I'm doing this. Now I feel like you're jealous of me, but in reality, we're not on the same level. Long as I'm at the bottom,
It's funny that you
be
said
friends.
that. It's funny that you said that, because of one of the things when I wrote down some of the key points of generational curses, and if you're saying, so one of the things that we break the generational curses by is by surrounding ourselves with growth-minded people. So if we're going to break those curses, we can't be around those people.
Mm-hmm.
In order to elevate.
In order to elevate, we just can't.
Correct.
And you'll notice it. It's hard, but it's fair.
I be so mad, like when I fall out with somebody, because I always try to save everybody, and I always take care of everybody else and put myself last.
And actually, you didn't fall out with them. It was time for them to go. You didn't fall out.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing what you needed to do, and you know in your heart you was genuine and you was giving them your all, and you was the one that was helping, you didn't fall out with them. It was time for them to go, and it's okay. That's what we need to learn. Because in the past, and I'm speaking for me also.
That's right. That's right.
As well. That, oh my God, they fell off. It's my fault. I should have done more. No.
Yeah.
You done all you could do. They fall off. It's okay. Bye-bye.
One thing I noticed is that I could have been in different levels, but it's kind of like you said, I put myself on the back burner because I knew that I knew the growl that I had in me. I can always come back and do that for me, and I'm always trying to pour into other people. And then when you pour, and my energy is gone, it's depleted, and I don't have nothing left for myself. So it's okay to pour into myself. And when I have enough, if I have something for you, then you can have some.
And where we go wrong at is because we're pouring because we think our cup is full. Because our cup is full, don't pour from that. You gotta pour from the overflow.
Okay.
And
you
know what's so crazy about that?
You should not be pouring until it's an overflow. Otherwise, you're going to continue to get depleted. You have to pour from the overflow.
Pour from the overflow.
From the overflow.
And that was my problem. I thought I was giving from an already full cup because I thought I was okay. I was great, so I can give. But then I find myself so depleted, drained, and then what you just said, Dr. Fab, hit me because something brought my attention to it. I was like, wait a minute, I can't give.
Oh.
I can't give. I'm not
know when the season is to give.
Huh?
We have to know the season to give.
Oh, yeah. My sister-in-law just said that you got to know that you got to recognize your season and know when your season to give, like, you know, those seasons. She definitely.
And people think we're talking about just finance. We're talking about our time. We're talking about different things. Like I'm gonna tell you, like last year, a lot of people don't know. Last year, towards the middle of last year, it was extremely complex for me as far as my health. It was one of the things where everything was great, and then it just like bang. And I just couldn't be there for no one. I couldn't be the listening ear for people. I just couldn't do certain things. and I was being extremely selfish because I had to, I had to figure out what was going on. And in the mix of it, I lost some people I cared about. And but then because I've done the work, I realized it's okay, Dudley, because you just couldn't give anything. You could not. And the old me would have been upset. I would have been like, "Oh, Dudley, you could have been there for him. So what? You were going through what you was going through. Just you should have been there for him. I would have beat myself down, like you said, Dr. Fab. We beat ourselves down." But then it was a season where I could not. But then that's when God is doing, you know what? I'm just cleaning up for you. That's all. Yeah. I'm just cleaning up for you. Don't worry about it. Not bad people. It's just not your people.
Yes.
Correct. Or right now.
For right now.
It has a season as well. And also in addition to that, it's kind of like, even though we be like, oh, we can't be selfish, you have to be selfish. What do you really think what self-care is? You got to take care of you. If you say you're doing self-care, you can't be taking care of Dr. J, Keisha, and all of them. That's not self-care. That's not self-love. You got to take care of you. So it's okay to take care of you.
Do you see how that can be a generational curse, though? Because you see grandma always took care of mama and the kids. And then mama always let people come and live with us, because she always helping anybody. So now you just inherit that heart. You don't even know how to be there for you don't know how to be there for you.
Yep. That's mindset. That's what I said. It's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
The one that changed that mindset. So going forward, the next generation don't repeat that same cycle.
Yeah, they do.
So with that being said, do you believe in therapy, or do you think that's just a trend?
No,
I live by it. I live by it.
I live by it.
I will lay on that couch. Maybe.
Hold on, no. Say it again. What was the question?
Do we believe in therapy, or do you think it's a trend?
People that know me already know. I always say talking is therapeutic. So you gotta talk it out. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain things you can't talk out to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's a time for everything. Certain things that's happening out, you can't talk to everybody. Certain things you can talk to, certain things you can't. Certain things you can talk to your bestie if you have one. Because as you elevate, the numbers get
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I call myself I worked at this job, and I call myself trying to get off of work and thinking I don't beat the game. So I'm like, okay, I'm going for a mental leave, right? So they got smart on me. They say, okay, well, you want to go on a mental leave, you got to go into this outpatient program. So it's about a group of us, probably about 10 of us. It's one of those, hi, my name is. I didn't realize the help that I needed. So, because in my mind, I'm thinking like it's nothing that I can beat them. Like it's nothing that she can ask me. It's nothing that she can say that I can talk about. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to do this because I want to be off of work. But when this lady broke me down to see the issues of the childhood trauma brings forth adult drama, the things that I had, just open up doors like I had suppressed or thought I forgot. And, so, and it's somebody that doesn't have a dog in the fight. So I can talk to my cousin and she gonna rock with me. I can talk to, my whoever and they gonna rock with me, but just somebody that don't, and made me self-reflect, because that's a lot of times we don't succeed in a lot of things because we don't hold ourselves accountable for a lot of stuff.
Correct.
And so I
come on.
If we need it, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
You know what I think you just said something, ZZ. Accountability. A lot of people, you'll be surprised how much people on God's beautiful earth that do not hold themselves accountable. Right. And when they say they hold themselves accountable, they always have a but.
A but.
Hold yourself accountable takes full transparency about yourself.
Yes.
I'm not perfect, but I'm not going to beat myself down. Some of my ways, just some of my ways.
Correct.
And so the thing is, a lot of people do not take accountability. I remember when I first told everyone, when I first started setting boundaries, people were like, oh, girl, good, girl, that is so good. You know how people could get. But when those boundaries were set on them, baby, they were pissed.
You speaking to a
They
crowd.
were pissed.
Yep. I totally can relate.
Okay, so I got some questions for each one of the ladies. So, and they say it's a lot of feedback. So if we're not speaking, just mute your phone. So Chastity, you're gonna be first. Turn on your light. The people want to see you. They want to see that pretty red skin. So, my first question for you is losing both parents at such a young age must have been heartbreaking. Do you feel like you ever had the chance to grieve properly, or did you have to toughen up too quickly?
Wait, repeat the question, the end part.
Do you feel that you ever had the chance to grieve properly, or do you feel like you had to toughen up and be an adult real quickly?
No, I had to toughen up and be an adult real quickly because I got emancipated at 16. So it's like I was grown at a child's age. My grandma had a stroke when I was in high school. So it's like I was working 2 jobs and I was still in high school trying to help over there at her house. So, yeah.
And so what are you doing to make sure your kids don't feel like they're growing up too quickly, or, we're repeating the cycle?
I try not to put so much on them. So that's why, like, people be like, oh, I got an older child, let her do certain stuff. I'd rather just struggle by myself and do it on my own instead of putting that on her, because I don't want her where she'll be where she don't want no kids, she don't want to deal with nobody, because I've been raising kids since this and I have 5 behind her. So I don't never want to feel like I'm taking from her childhood. So I'd rather just take from mine and sacrifice, and I'm working on now getting a better job. Y'all will see by the end of the year. But yeah.
Close to you. Cheers to you.
Right? Cheers to it.
Okay, and Zaza, you work in the insurance field, and that's the biggest scam of everything. So, what's the biggest scam people fall for when trying to become a licensed adjuster?
You said the biggest scam they fall for?
Yes.
I don't know. Like, see, the thing is, I got in the game because I'm not a racist or anything like that, but it was a field where it was, they were gatekeeping. So when us kind of got in it, it was kind of like they were holding on to it. So when I found a little loophole, like, hey, I want everybody to get in and they get this money, because it's good money, especially when a hurricane or something comes in. I'm trying to get everybody in because a lot of people didn't know about it. And the people that did know about it, they wasn't telling people about it. And I'm one of the people that I don't hold anything back about the information. So I'm like, I found out about the information. Now I want everybody, it's kind of like when you find out something, you be like, I want you to come. I want you to come. So, I mean, as far as like the biggest scam, the thing is, I got in it thinking that because I didn't understand it, thinking I was going to help people. But when you're working for the insurance company, it's really not to help people, like they don't want to pay. So, it's like, but so at this point I'm getting in on the other end because I'm thinking from a worker perspective, like, let me get my people in the industry so they can make this good money, make it, because you don't need a college degree to do this. You can get a license, and I've seen a 19-year-old pulling in $20,000 a month. When I first got in, my first month, I worked the hurricane. I made $100K in a month, and I took a leave of absence from my job, making $40K a year. So of course I want to bring all my people in, and that's the thing. That's the thing is like you want to bring your people in, but I wasn't all the way in the door myself. I didn't really know anything, so I could tell you, Jay, you got to do this. Da, 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 da. I just knew that, hey, I'm in here just getting in the door. We'll learn together.
And that's what you did. So yeah.
That's it. We'll learn together because we just get to the money.
Yes. Let's get to the back.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay, and Dr. Fab, you're next.
Okay, I unmute. Go ahead.
Okay. So losing a child I just can't imagine. And miscarriage and losing a child is totally different. And it's unimaginable pain. I can't even get the words out because I can feel it still. What was the lowest moment that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna turn this pain into my purpose?
Well, it all was low. The lowest thing with me, it was like a double whammy. So when my fourth child transitioned, I had just given birth to my fifth child, who was only a month and a half old. So I had a 2.5-year-old and a one and a half month old. So I had a toddler and a baby.
Mhm.
So when he transitioned, I still had a baby. You know, not to mention, I also had other kids prior. But the main thing is he was the youngest. So my fifth child was only a month and a half. So in my mind, even though it was totally gone, but a little snip of it was kind of like, you can't give up. Just got here. You can't give up. He just got. Yeah, I have a strong family. Yes, my husband can take care of it. My mom, because we both come from two parents household, and they're here and they're very supportive. But at the moment, it was like, no, you the mama. You need to be here. You can't give up. Whatever you do, don't give up. Mind you, like I said, I have other kids. It wasn't so much me thinking about the old. It was me thinking about the one that I just had, the fifth child that was only a month and a half old, that he needed me. So when Lou transitioned, I was breastfeeding. So bad enough, I was feeling like a mom of failure because my milk, everything stopped. My body just went into total shock.
Yeah.
So I couldn't breastfeed Yazir. I couldn't breastfeed the one that I just gave birth to that was a month and a half old. So going through all of that, it was like, yeah, no matter what, tough it out, cry it out. You get through it. And my faith in God, even though I cussed him out several times, I ain't finna be up here and lie to you. I cussed him out several times because my mind was not here. But at the same time, it was him that was holding me together because it was like, baby girl, I got you. Just hold on to me. No matter what, just hold on to me. I'm going to get you through the storm. I'm going to get you out of all of that. And he did. And I turned that around and turned it in, create our nonprofit, you know what I'm saying, to honor my son. We provide a lot of different programs for mom, not only that lost child, but also had miscarriages, things of that nature. Because I had, like you mentioned, I had 3 because I was trying to replace Lou. So I had kept trying like 3 times. And God was like, baby girl, he's not replaceable. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Did you experience grief with those? Did you experience a different grief with?
Correct. So yes, there was a multiple grief.
Okay.
Because after I lost him, remember I told you guys before I had already given birth to my 5th child. That was a month and a half. So in the process of grieving, I never really had a chance to really grieve because I was trying.
You going through postpartum?
Yeah. Correct. I was trying to replace him, so I kept getting pregnant. And every time, miscarriage 3 times. And it was like, God, okay, I get it. I get it. He's not replaceable. I get it. What am I supposed to do now? What do you want me to do now? What is the next step? How can I heal myself and also heal my family? And then going forward, heal the community who's experiencing what I'm experiencing. Right. So that was the light bulb for me. It was like, I've never want another mom to experience what I experienced. And if they're experiencing it, I want to be the one that to help them to get through it, to help them navigate, because I know what that looks like. I know how that feels like. You know, no one tell me how to get out of what I just got out of. So if I was able to get out, trust me, I would be the perfect one to be able to help another mom like myself. And that's what we do with Lou Foundation. And not just the mom, the dad, and the kids. Like I said, I come from a household, a full household. Husband and wife, 5 kids. We all
thank you. Yeah. And Dudley. Because you own 3 businesses, and I just want to tackle one of them that I know for. So when people see so much money coming through project management and they don't see the grind that comes behind it, what's the biggest misconception about what you do?
The biggest misconception about what I do. people think I actually sit out there and I build. My background is construction. Prior to starting my business, I worked as a project engineer. My background is construction engineering technology, and I after I graduated college, that's what I did. And then I decided to start my own consulting firm where I just provide consulting services for companies in construction, and that's it's a couple of things. It's a niche. It's government related projects. So a lot of time people will call me and say, "Hey Dudley, I'm trying to do a renovation. Can you help me put a renovation, like add this addition to the house?" I'd be like, I do not do construction. I'm a consultant. They be like, "Well, can we get your expertise?" I even have people that'll say, "Well, can you just come and just project manage the project for me?" And because I have the experience, I understand the concept of the project. I understand, inspection, and they'll just want me to come and do that. And I'll just say, that's not what I do. That's not what I do. If I want to do that, that's what I'll do. And another misconception people think when it comes down to my profession, people think that, I remember someone said to me, you just coming out with all this good news. You have all this good news. You got this project, you got this. But people don't understand, before I started my company, I was working for a Fortune 500 company in Texas. And then during the whole layoff stuff, I got laid off and I was living in Texas and I had to move back home to my mama house in Miami. And then my mom, we're Haitian. So, everyone stays in the house. So I was literally in one of the rooms with my nephew. Sometimes I rotate. I go to my mom's room. I go to the room with my nephew. I just rotate. And people don't understand. When I got home, they gave me the severance package. I took all that money, just literally gave it to my mom because I didn't know she needed it until I got home. And I was like, what? So I just gave it to her. So I was on unemployment. And then, so it was a mixture of, I did not know I was depressed. I wanted to start, at that point, I said, I'm going to start my own business. I am not working for no one anymore. So I was depressed, did not know that. Every Friday was girls' night. Sometimes it's girls' nights, even more days out the week. And so that consists of going out, drinking, having a good time. But I had no idea I was depressed until I met my now husband. And he said to me, "What's your plan? You say you're starting a business, but what's your plan?" I said, "I'm starting a business." He said, "But you're always going out." So
he was holding you accountable.
Huh?
He was holding you accountable.
He was holding me accountable, right? And then I had an Audi that I was paying for every month. He was like, "You have a whole car here, a foreign car you got to pay for every month." So I said, "My unemployment paying for it." I never forget I said that. But it was one of the things where I was just so frustrated. And then that was a new phase of my life where I was stepping into a different version of Dudley. And it was terrifying because the life I thought I created for myself while I was in school, going to do my internships, doing this and that, I thought I already was set. I was going to work for a Fortune 500 company and move up in the ladder, get my window seat and get my condo in somebody's beach. So my goal was to move back and get a condo. But that died. So I had a new version of me, a business version of me. And I was terrified. I had to actually, although I was a social person, but to take that and network, it was hard for me. I didn't want to hear no. I used to hate hearing no because I was not used to hearing no when I went for the corporate jobs.
Right.
So it was one of the things where I became extremely, extremely faithful. That's when my faith became extremely strong when I came back home. I needed it. I needed every inch of it. Mm-hmm. And so I worked extremely hard for 5 years. When I tell you hard, I actually got a job. I worked from 8 to 4. I'll take a break. Then at 9 o'clock until 3 in the morning, I work my business. I did that almost for 3 years. And then when year 5 hit, one of my biggest clients to this day, because I've been in business for like 14 years now, One of my biggest clients, when January hit, they said, "We're signing the contract. When can you start?" And so people would tend to think that I'm just so lucky. Man, this thing is hard.
Tell them.
It's hard. And then when you're trying to get, and then now that's
Being
that
a
one
business
level.
owner is hard. So imagine
It's
starting out.
hard.
Yeah.
And then you have this, that's one level. Now I have a mentor saying, okay, you passed this level. Now it's time for you to get employees. You can't let the business run you down. So now I have to pay people, and I believe in paying decent well.
Right.
Because when I get paid well, I work well.
Mhm.
And you get this experience. So
Yes.
now I have payroll. I got to make sure these people eat. So when people just come to me and just say, "Oh, you're winning," or "Oh my God, you could put me on," like y'all have to understand, like this is not an easy task. It's not easy.
And it wasn't an overnight success.
It wasn't an overnight success. People don't understand, like, it was not an overnight success, but people tend to think that, and then they'll say, "Oh man, I want to start this business." I'd be like, "You got okay, what's your experience?" They think it's gonna overnight just happen. Oh, they try to tell me, when I tell them, when they want me to mentor them, they'll say, that's too expensive. I'm giving you years. And I'm also
Worth
connecting
of
people
knowledge
that I know.
and experience and my network.
So, that's the misconception. People think that I just be I just be floating through these streets. I just be floating. I don't. I made a conscious decision because now I can afford to, a few years back, I could afford to pay people. I live my life a little bit more slower. I don't start my day until 10, and because I garden. I also garden. So now, and I also do edible garden installs for families who want to, heal through their food. So it's one of them things where I make time for stuff like that. I make more time for my family. It wasn't easy. So I always tell people, when you get on this social media, people say soft life, this and this and that. And I'm like, look, you just start your business. Ain't no soft life like that. You got any investments? Your
What's
soft
that?
life, you
Yeah,
take
what's
that.
that?
People think this is like my soft life. I'm going on vacation. But you living check by check.
Yes.
You're not ready for that life at that level.
No.
And it's okay. It's okay. That people are not telling people that. If you lose your small clients right now, you need long-lasting clients. You need some form of investments outside of your clients. People are trying to live a soft life too soon. And
Yeah. No, wait, we're gonna come to that. Listen, we're gonna come to that. I want to do one more round. I'm gonna do one more round of personal generational questions.
In, y'all.
Then we're gonna go back to that. Listen, I already got me a refill over here, y'all. So, Chastity, my next question to you is lights on you. Your light shining. We gotta see you. So, I know last year was like a breaking point for you, where you just woke up and was like, enough is enough. So, what's one moment in your life where you realized you had no choice but to break this generational curse and rewrite your story? And what's your story?
You want real story?
We want a 30-second story of what's your story and what made you rewrite that story. We want to know what the story was and what's the new story.
Okay, last year I was in a domestic violence situation. So it was just like I was basically dealing with a manipulator. Like he'll manipulate me, he'll manipulate the kids. Like he still had one of my kids where it's like when it come to me, like, what really made me change was when he tried to kill me. And to see that my kids, screaming and hollering and stuff like that, like literally that happened almost a year and a half ago. And my kids now just started back sleeping in their room. They still I can't have no privacy. I can't have no company. Like they literally, if I have company, they literally gonna come in the room with me by the end of the night because they're scared of what we've been through. So what made me change is like I have 6 kids. I got 3 girls and 3 boys. I definitely don't want my girls to feel like that it's okay for when you get up, a man, when he decides he want to do what he want to do, he just come on, beat on you. He just want to make it feel like, oh, it's your fault. You the reason why I'm this. And so it's just like, yeah, it's time for me to get out. And then when my oldest be like, you deserve better. Like, we always talk, and it's just like, for her to say that, even though I watched my mom go through the same thing. So it was like, nah, I have 6 kids. I have to be here for them. I don't have nobody else. I have Jay. I have a few friends, but I don't have nobody. It's really just me and my kids, and I have to be here. So it's like, I'd rather just let all that go and just start over.
Mm.
And it's like, even when guys try to talk, I don't care nothing about the money. It's like, at this point, I start up with somebody who don't have no money, because I've been there with somebody who had money and he treated me like crap. So it's just like, I'm okay.
Thank you for sharing that, because a lot of women, we go through domestic violence situations, and sometimes it's a generational thing. And even with molestation and stuff like that, a lot of women or girls that you hear being raped, that's because their mom was raped, their grandma was raped, their auntie was raped. So there's a lot of generational curses that we have to break in, so we could change the trajectory of our kids and their lineage and things of that nature. So I just thank you for, putting your foot down and stepping out of that situation, because a lot of people don't make it out of that situation. A lot of people don't tell their stories. A lot of people don't have conversations with their daughters and say, hey, that's not okay. What I did was not a good example, and I don't want you to go through that. So I thank you for that, because you were being transparent with your kids. And some people think, kids are too young to understand. And I think as more time go on, the kids are able to understand and they know what's going on. Zaza, you want to say something? Unmute.
I didn't. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was kind of piggybacking on what she said. I watched my mother be in an abusive relationship, and I was in an abusive relationship with my kid's dad. And I remember asking my mom when I was younger, Mama, why you just want to leave him alone? And she just, only thing she said was, you don't understand. You understand when you get older. And I just talking to my other peers, a lot of their parents told them the same thing. You understand when you get grown. So guess what? I got grown, and nobody else still never explained anything to me. So now I'm in an abusive relationship. And now my mom is telling me, you seen what happened to me? You seen what I went through? And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm staying, because you never told me. Maybe I could have something to kind of go by if you say, I'm here for the kids. Because in my mind, that's what I was saying. I wanted my kids to, because my mama pushed you and your kids got the same daddy, So I'm like, I'm staying with my kids' daddy, because my kids got the same daddy, and I'm still with their daddy. And everybody can't say that. So I'm dealing with a lot of bull crap that's coming with it, but I'm still with my baby daddy. Because, growing up, you got these kids, but they got a stepdaddy, but I still am with the kids, my kids' daddy, but I'm miserable as hell. So it wasn't until my own child, which is his child, and was like, I'm still trying to make it work. And my son was like, if you get back with him, I don't want to live with you anymore. And I'm just like, I'm not going to choose nobody over my kid. And I'm like, my kid not going to live with nobody but me. And nobody's raising my son but me. And so, and my mama was right there, and she was like, and if he want to come stay with me, he can come stay with me. Now, it's not because I'm on drugs that my son needs to go. This is in my mind. Yeah. Not because I'm on drugs, my son needs to go live with my mama. Not because I'm in jail that my son needs to go live with my mama. It's because I'm with a nigga that hit on me, and my son don't want to see it. And I want him to do that. So it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So I had to cut that right there. That generational curse, because I did see my mama get hit on. I don't know why she stayed. I know why I was staying, why I thought that was okay. Because you'll be so surprised at things that we put in our mind that make it seem like it's okay to do it, and it's not okay.
We normalize it.
Yeah, we normalize it, and it's not okay. And I know that I didn't want nobody else to be raising my child, so I'm gonna raise my own son. And this is his daddy, been there since day one. But he was like, "Hey, I don't like the way he treats you. I don't like the way he do you. I don't want to, Now I had my younger son that was a daddy's kid, but I had to make that decision. I had to make an OG call and like, hey, I ain't gonna be able to do it. And so now it's like you choosing, I'm your hook. No, I don't want to do it.
And that goes back to like when I was emancipated at 16. So it's like now my daddy not here, my mama not here, my grandma gone. So now I'm looking for this love. So now I find this man that's willing to, I feel like he's giving me everything. He done gave me 6 kids. He's doing this. Like, okay, this is the love of my life. Like, so it's like I was taking so much and then it was like, okay, I'm happy at the moment. And then when you come in, you want to drink, you decide you want to drink. I could be sleeping in bed. You want to pull me out of bed. You want to just jump on me. Or if I catch you cheating, you try to make it feel like it's me. I'm the reason, like, so it's like, yeah, like, no. When I found somebody that'll take me, my 6, 7, 8, and 9 kids. So he ain't never got to worry about it, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
So absolutely. So now I got a question for Dr. Fab. We're gonna pray Dr. Fab to the stage. What's one piece of advice that you would give mothers who feel like they'll never recover from losing a child?
That's a good question. Because we're all different, and I'm dealing with a lot of different ones right now, and some of them are different stages where they're able to pick up the pieces and move forward, and some they pick it up today and they drop it back off tomorrow, and they it's a struggle. But I can only speak for me. What helped me was my faith. So whatever you believe in, as long as you believe in something, my faith was in God first and foremost. I have a supportive husband, and a lot of time when you have somebody with you and you lose a child, you tend to separate because of all the grief and trauma and things of that nature, and then the blaming games and stuff like that. So I thank God I was fortunate that we hang in there together. We're still hanging in there together, almost been 2 decades now. And I have a strong family support. Like when that happened to me, my sister flew in from Charlotte. My cousin from Atlanta, my other cousin from here came and stayed with me. Like I would say I know a lot of people may not have a strong family support, but I feel like if you have strong faith in God, first and foremost, because that's going to give you that hope, that strength that you need to keep going, and some kind of support system. And that's why we're building that bereavement community. So therefore our bereaved moms, which is short for bereaved moms, know that they're not in this alone, that we have a team, that we can, be there for each other and be that supportive system that they need to navigate life. So that's
Thank you. We appreciate you for that too. And I see the events and I see you really working with them. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you for that as well. There's mothers lost their kids years. They still haven't stopped grieving.
Yes. Listen, I had a friend, and me and him, we still converse here and there. And he lost his son a couple years ago. His son had a brain aneurysm. And he went to the graveyard every day. I don't know if he still does, but for like 3 years straight, he went to that graveyard every day. Every day.
And some people can't even do that. Some people, that's their breaking point.
And we talk about the father. Most mothers would probably do that, but we talk about a father.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's never easy. And so Dudley, what's one time you got completely screwed in business and you had to fight your way back?
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I had to tell Dory to turn around. I'm sorry, that's my daughter. She coming my way, I think. I'm okay. So this whole thing, people want to collaborate, We use people that we know of and so forth. I've become very skeptical about that because I had a time where I actually used someone who actually provided, like, we have similar services, but she had I was going to use her location for my client, one of my biggest clients. And I told her, look, I know we have similar scope of work, but I want to use you for this aspect because at the end of the day, we're both sisters, and I want to make sure that I support. And this right here will look good. It's going to be a huge event for my client. So when I did that, my client, the day of, we're having a ball, everything's going well. He pulls me outside and say, the person who owned this location literally tried to sell me her services. And he said I wouldn't trust her. My client said that. And so it hurt. It really, really hurt because, you try to do this whole collab thing. You try to do certain things. But then some people, everybody has their own agenda for what they want. That's human nature. But for you to come in an event that I was having to do that, it kind of threw me off. So it was one of the things where I did not do anything. I did not try to bring myself back. I just knew I had to distance myself from that. And so whenever someone comes to me and say, hey, let's collaborate or let's do certain things, I'm very skeptical. I want to know who you are first. We're no longer doing that. I need to know how you operate with other people. I have my list of what I look for before I do that. I don't want to say it out loud in case people watching this. Oh, that's how Dudley move. So I have to do that because, I am someone where in my mind, I'm extremely optimistic. I'm extremely, I'm a pretty positive person. I could take the bad. I've been through a lot growing up as a child where I have a thing where I can literally see a situation. It could be a bad situation. I say, you know what? At least this did not happen. I'm very good at that. I think that's one of my my superpowers. Because when you go through so much as a child, you tend to know how to block certain things and you appreciate things. So, and because of that, I have to be careful who I collaborate with or who I bring around me. I have to be very careful because that's something it was pretty deep.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so but I just learned to just back away.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Okay. And so this is everyone. We're going to do a hot seat again. 10 seconds, move on. We're going to be just going around, answer. And if you want to just jump in, popcorn, hot seat. Yeah, I know back in the days, elementary school. So what's one thing about your past that still haunts you, even though you're successful?
Damn, I got one. I had a client that I was trying to do so well for him. And I was trying to make sure that, we did our thing that, I should be talking about this on no damn social media. They weren't doing their paperwork right. And I knew of that. I said, as long as I don't have to touch it. But then the client knew about that. They said, well, Dudley, you helping them. And so then it was one of them things where I think it was I compromised my integrity a little bit because I knew of it. And that was something my mentor always placed on us about that because I knew of it. So that's something that it still haunt me. So to this day, I don't get a lot of clients. I don't get a lot of contracts because if you work in that light, I don't deal with you. But God, I just deal with the ones that's honest about a lot of things. Yeah, look, this when y'all recording this, how long it stays on Facebook?
Don't worry. Anyway, let's go to chime in really quick. Or let's go to the next one. I'm gonna just unmute everyone. You just jump in whenever I'm gonna just keep going because I know time. I told y'all an hour, so we get close to that hour.
Look, I'm gonna say this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm one of those outgoing people that, you know, we go to karaoke. I'm gonna get up there. I'm singing Mary J. Blige. I ain't shy. I was in choir when I was younger. You know, that type of stuff. You know, so I'm not shy. Everybody like, oh, God, do it. But what I regret doing is I would get up there when it's time to party and get up there and do karaoke, or, you know, get up there and, you know, do the robot dance Soul Train line. But when it's time for me to stand at the front, when an opportunity has been presented to me, I always step back. What one thing I regret is opportunities that I've had to step forward, or just be like, or just put my name out there, or even if an idea that I feel like it wasn't nothing, it could have been something, or it maybe, you know, me just thinking a little of something and not just putting myself out there like I should have or like I could have. But because if I can go out there and put myself in front of people for free, and when it's time to party and when it's time to, you know, have fun, then I could have did that when it was time for me to feed my family.
Oh,
That's my only regret.
wow.
I have to, and this is my first time. I've never been asked that question. So,
Yeah.
by me being asked that question, I have to think of a time. So that's what I had to think. Like, I can go and I'm like, I'm the life of the party, and I can get up and I can step out in front of everything. But why I couldn't put myself out there when I had this idea? Because I have ideas, and I can tell you, if I just met you, and you'll be like, yeah, I was thinking about, girl, you know, you should do this and you should do that.
Oh,
and I'm, you know, one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got the opportunity, and I don't say nothing, I don't do
I know
nothing.
a lot of people like you. I'd be like, dang, you sleeping a little time.
I ain't sleep no more though.
Dang.
But you know, but
I told you, there's no procrastination this year. And if you connected to me, we all going up.
Yeah.
I'll have you in Timbuktu.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
my regret.
So look, what's one thing you had to unlearn in order to break a generational curse in your family?
My feelings matter.
Okay is a complete sentence. And no.
My
Being
feelings,
okay and no.
listen, and y'all know I don't talk about myself when it comes to these podcasts, but that was big, because I spoke to Norla High School girls on Friday, and I told them I was like The Color Purple. I had to fight all my life.
That's my favorite movie. It is.
And you know, growing up, we didn't have feelings. You had to bottle everything inside. You couldn't express your feelings. I said no, and that's that. Or I did this, or I did that, blah, blah, blah. So I had to always bottle in my emotions and my feelings. And so when I became an adult, when people start saying, oh, well, this, or I feel this, or I feel that, or I feel that, I had to always put their feelings before mine, or I always had to apologize first, or I had to try to make things right, or I had to be the one to, I got to be the bigger person and all that stuff. But it was like, but what about my feelings? And so recently, I just went through therapy, and that was something I had to learn, that my feelings matter.
Mm-hmm.
And stop apologizing for stuff that you don't have to be sorry for. If I don't owe you an apology, then if I don't owe you an apology, stop apologizing to make somebody else feel better, or to make them to validate their ego. So like if you, like you said, and that comes with the saying no is a complete sentence, and saying okay, and say like, can you take me up the street? No, because I gotta go to the overly explaining. No,
that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if any of you could tell your younger self at your lowest point something that inspire and motivate or encourage yourself, what would you say?
My younger self.
What you concerned about is something small, baby. Because where you going is huge.
I really would just say, keep going. Because I had a kid early, and so I was trying to chase after that dude. And when he gave me those signs to leave him alone, see, that's the thing. We linger into stuff, And my problem as an adult, and it started as a kid, is when people show you who they are, you have to believe them, because trust me, when they showed me then, they showed me now too. So it just, I just let your cutoff game be your cutoff game. Oh, you cheated? I'm talking about, you can't even be like, cut it off.
See, you know what's so funny? I never had that issue. Like everybody, with men, that's been my least, because I see what they did to women when I was growing up. So I was more afraid to be in committed relationships long term. So for me, I seen what happened when women did that with the men. Every man I can imagine beat on women when I was growing up. I only had one aunt I knew she used to beat on men, and I absolutely loved her. I know she shouldn't beat nobody.
Yeah, I had one too.
Yeah. So the thing was, because of that, I was more afraid of that, doing that. So when I hear stories where you say that, sometimes it's kind of like, dang, how does it feel to love someone on that level? And people be like, dang, how did you allow? How do you feel? Because you actually gave your all, and that's beautiful. Well, even with my whole husband, it took me a couple years for me to give my all.
Yep, me too.
It was hard, and I envy women like you.
Me three. Listen,
I envied women like you, Ziggy. Like, how were you able to do that without running it through your, not going with your head first and your heart came second? That was extremely hard for me. So I used to be like, how you did that? That's love right there. And trust me, it's women that envy that. That's not something that you think. I always
That's
tell
crazy, because I envy the opposite. I just wish that sometimes.
Well, because you've been through that. That's different.
Yeah.
It's opposite. So, but I've learned. It took years. And someone I can trust, someone I feel comfortable with, someone I can actually feel like he has my back.
Yeah.
And that's what helped me.
Yeah.
But I had to tell myself that. So trust me, don't. I always say
I'm saying I had to learn, like, when you giving people around you, when they skating on things that they do doing things to hurt you, and you forgiving, at the end of the day, I had to just ask myself, like, do I love myself?
Okay.
And it was a question that, I'm just like, I'm asking, like, I couldn't be embarrassed to ask, but like, do I love myself? Because it's like, I'm loving this person enough because I care about their feelings, because they did me wrong, and I'm forgiving them because this is what they want. They don't want me to leave. If I stay, that's what they want. But in the meantime, I'm not getting, so, and you lose
not putting ourselves first again.
Right, not putting myself first. So it's like, I said, do I love myself? And it was crazy. I was asking these questions, and I was kind of embarrassed, because I'm like, at this big old age, I'm still, it's like, I just sitting in silence one day trying to find an epiphany, and like, do I even know me? Because I've been everything for everybody, but I can't remember what I've been for myself. So it's like, now I'm starting, and it's like, okay,
you are learning some things.
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning. And so it's like, and I'm losing people along the way. And because people are so used to running over you, and people are used to getting their way and stuff like that. But a lot of times people are very satisfied with you not loving yourself, and you not knowing who you are. Yeah. You find out who you are, and when you start knowing yourself, and then it's like, oh, you acting funny, but it's not that. That's why it's never any bad blood, because I ain't doing nothing to you, and you ain't doing nothing to me. And what I'm doing is personal.
Yes.
It ain't about you.
It's about your work now.
Yes.
And you're setting your boundaries.
Yes.
My young self is that even the word impossible lies the word possible.
That's right.
And everything is possible as long as you do the work. So there's nothing. And even when they say, oh, the sky's the limit. No, beyond the sky.
Beyond the sky, right. Why you just want to limit yourself?
Don't allow nobody to limit you.
That's right.
Never.
There's no limit.
That's right.
That's true.
And so as we close and wrap this up, I want to hear everyone as we close. What's one generational curse you're committed to breaking, and how are you going to do it? So what you plan on leaving behind for the next generation?
financial.
My generational curse
I
was
am so tired of everybody doing a GoFundMe. No disrespect to anyone, but if we're all financially educated on getting life insurance at a young age for our kids, it would avoid even Gerbil. The baby could be like 3 years old, whatever, not 3 days old. You can get it. I mean, you know how it is the different ages it takes effect, but you can
Right.
still, as for me, all my kids, even the one that passed away, even though at that time, he was in NICU, I didn't do it. But guess what? But because we was already financially set and we had savings, it didn't matter. We had the fund to take care of that. We didn't have to rely on no one to do it. And we did what we want, how we wanted to do it, our way. So I'm no better than you. You know what I mean? So for me, it's the financials. We need to get that together. We need to learn. We need to teach each other. If you don't know, go to somebody and let them teach you about how this insurance thing goes. And then even if you don't know, just get it so you have it in place. All this GoFundMe every time a child passes away, that's one thing that that's the thing that ticked me off. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
But
it's fine. No, I understand.
You got money to get your nails done.
It's $11.
right.
It's
Especially when
$11.
It's
$11.
You understand what I'm saying? It's cheap when they're young.
It's for $50,000. That's $50.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you can pay all of that. You can pay that insurance. That's me.
Mine.
But they can pay for a year. Pay $11. Y'all call me. I'm like,
every time they get their income tax, pay it in advance.
Mine would be addiction, because I grew up with a drug addicted mother. And one thing I see as people in my society and growing up, a coping mechanism is addiction, whether it was drugs, whether it was alcohol. So breaking the generational curse is finding other means to deal with our issues and our problems without self-medicating or doing drugs, popping a pill, taking a drink, or having an addiction. I'm gonna be transparent here. I haven't used drugs, but my mother was on drugs and my dad did drugs. And so if I hear a song and I like it, it'll be on repeat. My kids be like, "Can we listen to something else?" If I eat something and I like it, I go every day and eat it. So I felt like I have an addictive spirit. So it's like if I like something, I want something. Who's to say that if I decide to be like, hey, I don't feel like dealing with this part of life, and I want to do this, and I like it, and in the addict's mind, hey, I can afford it, I can do it. I ain't taking it out of your mouth. It ain't bothering you. Then I can do it. So I feel like part of breaking the generational curse is let's find other ways. And like you said, are you opposed to see, in our household, like I ain't gonna lie, my mom was like, "You going to counseling? You don't need counseling. You go to God." And I did go to God too, but I also went and laid on that couch. But that's because she never went to counseling. She went to drugs. You get what I'm saying? So if it's available to you, let's take those opportunities to help better ourselves. Because we make a mountain out of a molehill. When we get to relying on alcohol, drugs, and and other things. So that's one of the ways I would break the generational curse.
Thank you for that. And that's funny that you say that, because my family, we don't know how strong addiction is.
Yes.
Until we get older, because they hid it for so long. As kids, they do a good job back in our days, they did a good job. Now we can't hide these from these kids now. But back in our generation, they did a good job with masking these issues instead of educating us on these issues, so that we didn't repeat the cycle.
That's right.
So right. Chastity, you there? Chas? Okay. Wait, I don't know.
Chastity gotta go chase some kids, probably.
Chastity, you there? We see you. Okay. Can you hear us? Okay. Well, let's raise our glasses, ladies. I just want to give you all your flowers. You did a phenomenal job, and I thank you all for expressing yourselves, telling your stories, because it's going to help someone else. Let me tell y'all something. When God, and I'm sorry I got y'all holding y'all glass up, but this God literally just laid it on my heart. When God laid this on my heart back in December, I was disobedient because I'm supposed to Ben started this. But I started this Women History Month. And when I tell y'all, when I get off this live every Wednesday, I get so many flooded DMs, inboxes of women who can relate or who's going through the same thing. And I just want y'all to know that you going through what you went through was a testimony to help someone else because they need to hear this. So cheers to you all.
Cheers.
Thank you all. Thank you, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all that for watching us. We'll catch you next Wednesday. We'll be with week 4. We'll be talking about the soft girl era. And so we want to know, are we comfortable being soft girls or are we still in our bossed up era? So we'll see y'all next Wednesday.
We spilled the tea and popped the bottles, but we're just getting started. If you felt this convo, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Because trust me, it's about to get even hotter.